If I were to ask you, what are the memorable events in your life? Okay, when we say memorable events, these are like life-changing moments that happen in our life. That's why it's memorable, right? It could be the day that you got married in church. Okay, I'm sure you could still remember, right? The groom looking so handsome, the bride looking so beautiful, and everyone celebrating the wedding. Okay, or maybe the birth of your child. Okay, you could still remember very well maybe the pain of giving birth, but also at the same time the joy when a child has been put into your arms and into your chest. Okay? Or maybe the day when you graduated from university, right? You worked so hard and then you graduated and you're celebrating with your friends. Okay? And some are not just positive, some are even negative, the things that happen in our life. It could be a memorable thing too because it's life-changing. And one negative thing that could happen in us was a very good example is that what happened in World Trade Center, right? In September 11, 2001. It changed, I could say, the whole world. That's why right now when you go to the airport, there's so many security. And it all started because of the attack on the World Trade Center. You see, it changed not just the lives of people, but the whole world. Okay? So these memorable events in our life, we have very vivid memory. And as I said, we remember the people that we're with. We could remember the emotion that we were experiencing, some positive, some negative, some joy, some are fear, whatever. And also, we could still also remember the day and the time that it happened. Okay? And in our gospel today, two of the disciples of John the Baptist also had this memorable event in their life. Okay? So what happened there in the gospel? Okay? John the Baptist saw Jesus walk by, and John the Baptist said, "Look, here's the Lamb of God." And the two of the disciples heard it, and they followed Jesus. And when they were following Jesus, Jesus turned and he saw them, and he said to them, "What are you looking for?" And that question is also being asked to all of us. What are we looking for? Okay, and the two disciples said, "Rabbi," or teacher, "where are you staying?" Okay, where do you live? Okay, and Jesus did not say a lot. All he told them is that come and see. Come and see and discover it for yourself. And that's what they did. They went with Jesus and they spent the whole day with Jesus. I could just imagine their conversation. You know, the inspiration that they were experiencing when they heard Jesus speaking to them. And they know that this is no ordinary man. Okay? And because of that, they said, they remained with him, and it was 4 p.m. They remembered the time. So two of the disciples, one of them is Andrew, and the other one was an unnamed disciple. But this gospel was written by John. And there's scripture scholars assuming that this other unnamed disciple is John. So John wrote the time because it was a very memorable event. It was a life-transforming event in their life. That's why they were able to say 4 p.m. Okay? So what happened there was that, Andrew, after that was Andrew first found his brother, and Peter, and said to him, within a very exciting emotion there, he's like, "We have found the Messiah." Not like when we say, "We have found the Messiah." No, There's great emotion there. We have found the Messiah. Okay? And I'm sure Peter, in his reaction would say, who is that you're talking about? Oh, a man from Nazareth. And then maybe Peter would say, is there anything good that could come out of Nazareth? And I could assume Andrew telling his brother Peter, come and see. You discover it for yourself. And Andrew brought Peter to Jesus. And there, Peter encountered Jesus in a very personal way. And that totally transformed his life. And it said in the gospel, right? When Jesus encountered Peter, Jesus said to Peter, you are Simon, son of John. You are to be called Cephas, which is translated Peter. The change of the name from Simon to Peter was a life-transforming moment for Peter. And that would never happen if not for his brother Andrew. Okay? Now, who is Andrew? Okay? Who is Andrew? Because Andrew is a profile of a personal evangelist. And I would like to say something about Andrew, hopefully, that would encourage us to be like him. Okay? So, first of all, Andrew was the first called, okay, together with John. They were the first who were called by Jesus. And sometimes for us, for me, sometimes we feel unimportant because we are not able to do big things that others do. Okay? But we need to remember that big thing does not make us big in the eyes of God. I remember Mother Teresa once said, God does not call us to be successful, He calls us to be faithful. Especially in the small things, in the little things. Just be faithful. And when we do that, we're big in the eyes of God. Okay? And so Andrew, what could we learn from Andrew? Andrew was just an ordinary man. He never wrote a book that we know of. There's no such a thing as Gospel of Andrew. Okay? He never wrote a thing. Okay? And also, he was not in the forefront like the big three. Who's the big three? Peter, James, and John. These three are in the forefront. Andrew was part of those who are in the background. Okay? But what is the most notable asset of Andrew? What is his most notable asset? And his notable asset is that he's simply introducing others to Jesus. Okay? And that's what he did. He brought his brother Peter to Jesus. In the Gospel of John chapter 6, when Jesus was with a lot of people in the desert and they were going hungry, okay? And Jesus asked for food for these people. And it was Andrew who brought the boy who has 5 loaves and 2 fish to Jesus. And because of that, Jesus was able to multiply the 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed the 5,000 people. See? That's his most notable asset, is bringing people to an encounter with Jesus. The second characteristic of Andrew is that he was a man of zeal, a man of great passion, a man of great desire, a man whose heart is on fire. Okay? And because his first desire was to find his brother Peter and bring him to Jesus. Okay? He could not contain it to himself, this good news. Okay? He could not contain it to himself and not tell others about this great message that he has found the Messiah, the Christ, the Anointed One. Okay? Another characteristic of Andrew is that he was a man of great faith. Okay? And because he was so convinced that he had found the Messiah. Okay? And that implies that he had this open mind to really search for the Messiah. Okay? And also his great desire to know more about Jesus, by spending time with Jesus that day. He was also a man of outstanding humility. Okay? Peter is far better known than was Andrew. Okay? When Jesus asked the disciples, who do people say that I am? It was Peter who made that profession, you are the Son of God. You are the Christ. Okay? Peter was also with the big three, Peter, James, and John, and they were with Jesus in the transfiguration. When they saw Jesus transfigured on Mount Tabor. Also, Peter's first sermon was written in the book of Acts, chapter 2. So you see here how Peter was more known. Peter became more popular than Andrew. Okay? But one good thing about Andrew is because of his great humility is that he accepted what he could do and could not do in the service to the Lord. Okay? Also, he was able to accept the plan that God had for him. Okay? So, four very good characteristic of Andrew that we can imitate so that we also would become a personal evangelist like Andrew. And that's what we're trying to do here at St. Mary's. We're doing this Operation Hearts on Fire. And there are 3 pillars under the Operation Hearts on Fire. Catch the fire, the first pillar. We need to catch the fire. And when we catch the fire, we need to enkindle it so that it will continue to burn. And then the third pillar is that we need to share the fire. And that's what Andrew did. He caught the fire, enkindled that fire, and shared that fire with his brother Peter. And that's what we're called to do. We're called to share the fire by bringing people to an encounter with the Lord who is the source of that fire. And the source of that fire is His Sacred Heart, burning with His love for each and every one of us. Okay? And under that share the fire is that we need to evangelize people by our words, by our actions. Okay? But some people, they're intimidated to share the good news to others. And that's okay. Okay? If you're intimidated, if you're not ready, it's okay. If you can't carry yet the message to the people, I think all of us could carry the people to the message. By inviting people, to evangelization program like Alpha. Okay? Now, what is Alpha? Okay, I'm going to focus on Alpha. There's several evangelization tools that we could use. But what is Alpha? Alpha is being used by Catholic parishes and also other Christian denominations as an effective tool for evangelization because it introduces people to the life-changing message of Jesus Christ. In 2018, looking at the Alpha website, it described that its course as running in over 100 countries and translated over 100 languages, with over 24 million people having taken the course. And in particular, this is attracting many young people, okay, who are asking the question, is there more to life than these? Okay? Especially right now, we're experiencing COVID-19. People are asking that question, is there more to life than these? And there's a British adventurer, writer, television presenter, and businessman. His name is Bear Grylls. How many of you are familiar with Bear Grylls? Familiar with that? Bear Grylls? Or familiar with that? Okay. So he became widely known for his television series, Man versus Wild. Okay, it came out in 2006 until 2011. And he's also right now on Netflix. It came out, his television series is called You versus Wild. And it's on Netflix, you could watch it. And I watched some of his videos and said, I want to be like him because I like adventure too. Maybe I could go and have my own TV series on Netflix and you could watch me there. No, just kidding. Okay, so Bear Grylls underwent a conversion through Alpha. Despite all the adventure videos that he made, he's saying that his greatest adventure is to follow Jesus. Okay, so you could watch his testimony of going through Alpha. Go to tryalpha.ca. Okay, so Bear Grylls. And so I would just like to share with you a testimony of not of a conversion, not of one individual, but of a family. Because people have invited them to take Alpha, it brought transformation. It deepened their faith. It brought them to conversion, not just for one individual, but for one family. So let's take a moment to watch this testimony of this wonderful family, a parishioner here at St. Mary's.
I am Jermaine Punyang.
I'm Derek Punyang.
And I'm Celise Punyang. And we've
all attended Alpha.
There was a need within me to be more involved, to do something to strengthen my spirituality. I saw this huge banner outside St. Mary's advertising Alpha, and it caught my eye because I had never seen something so boldly advertised in a church before. At that same time, I'd been talking to a friend at the parish who had attended Alpha, and she encouraged me to do it. I learned that I have a place in this life. My life is purposeful, and Alpha also helped me feel okay with myself and who I am. I love the sharing, the community, the fact that we got to experience this with the same people every week. And I honestly felt that we were purposefully put together by God's hand. And as a result, I joined a small community. Also, I got much better acquainted with a few people from church that I was not close to before. Alpha has helped me to better appreciate my faith and church life and has taught me the importance of community and to rely on each other.
My participation in Alpha was epiphanous. My experience was a reaffirmation of my beliefs and religious convictions. It included the fact that spiritual maturity comes in increments and that we are guided by that invisible hand of God throughout the maturation process. The change that I experienced during Alpha was that of serenity, of allowing God, his divine workings, and my own unconditional surrender to supplant any preconceived notions I may have had about some immediate discovery or some dramatic transformation. In other words, just letting things be. The serenity and clarity that I experienced were incalculable. I view life and my daily personal interaction as one of grace, of fulfilling God's divine plan for me and in approaching challenges with a sense of bliss. Alpha awakened in me the value of surrender of many things material and to focus on uplifting relationships.
In my case, my closest friend had expressed to me that she was longing to get involved in a church community. At the same time, my father was just finishing his last session at Alpha and recommended it to me. I told my friend about Alpha and we decided to attend together. Growing up in the church, I found my faith strong, but because of the familiarity, at times I was not really moved by it. I realized that there were plenty of simple and compelling arguments for Christianity that I'd never once considered. Also, the testimonies of the various speakers in the videos were profoundly moving. All of this gave me more perspective on my faith, and the easy conversation, company, and the discussion of deeper topics among my friends was really fulfilling to me. Alpha has had a big effect on me in two ways. Firstly, I retained so much of the basic information about Christianity that was taught in the first few videos. Second, it let me get to know more people in my parish, have relationships with other Christians, and gave us the opportunity to openly pray for one another. Alpha has strengthened my faith and has given me a better awareness of the importance of relationships in my life.
So I hope you were inspired by the testimony of this wonderful family who underwent a transformation, a conversion by going through Alpha. So I would really like to invite you to join us here at St. Mary's. We're going to do this online Alpha starting on January 27th. It's a Wednesday. It's from 7 to 9 p.m. Okay? And here you could see that there's a QR code. QR stands for Quick Response Code. Take out your smartphone, pause this video, and take a camera, take a picture, scan it through your camera, and then it will lead you to the website where you could register. Now, just like what Jesus said to the two disciples, that is also my invitation to you. Just come even for that one night, January 27, 7 to 9 p.m. Just do a come and see. Okay? You need to discover Jesus for who He is. Okay? And to encounter Him in a very personal way. So, one of my favorite passage is from Romans chapter 10, verse 15. It says there, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news to others. And you could change beautiful to blessed, how happy. Because for me, my greatest desire, my greatest happiness right now is to see people undergo conversion when they encounter the Lord. It's like a dying plant, like suddenly come back to life. It's so beautiful. And I don't want you to miss out on that. So let's imitate Andrew. Let us become a personal evangelist by doing very well just by introducing people to Jesus. By bringing them to an encounter with the Lord. Okay? And what happened there is that bringing someone to Jesus can lead to 1 million saved souls. I don't know if you if you believe in that. Just look at the example of Andrew. Andrew brought Peter to Jesus. Okay? And only in heaven will we know how many souls were saved through the ministry of Peter.